Alright, let's get into this. Here we are, guys. Alright, welcome. It's another Thursday, which means you get to listen to me one more day a week. Yes, I'm up to casting 3 times a week. It's been quite an adventure. Non-stop StarCraft for me. That's all I think about. And when I'm not casting, I'm actually behind the scenes trying to get more money towards the StarCraft scene, so I'm literally constantly doing StarCraft. I mean, I'm no shield battery. I'm not changing the battlefield the way that shield battery is, but here's the deal, guys. For those of you who see Flash versus Last and you're excited to watch a matchup between them, yes, I will be casting a Flash versus Last match, but first, I owe LetaBot a finals cast of the StarApple Man vs. Machine tournament. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to shout out all the sponsors because I want to do him right. I want to make this cast good. For those of you who don't know, I was sick for a month. My mom returned home from China. I had a family member pass away. And so for the past 2 months, really, it's been completely chaotic. But I started this tournament and I really want to finish it. So we're going to watch a kick-ass finals in just a second here of StarApple's Man vs. Machine finals. And LetaBot, you know, the one who's running this tournament, of course, backing himself up here and saying, hey, guess what? I actually have not just this awesome tournament, but I am the best in the tournament. Pebble444 is going to have to, of course, challenge his throne. I believe LetaBot has won like every tournament in the past year. So without a doubt, the strongest contender going into this. So let's go ahead and get this tour started up after I read out the sponsors. So StarApple, you see on the screen right there, and they are a big IT recruitment agency from the Netherlands. So if you're from the Netherlands or in Europe and you need a job and you want to go to the Netherlands to have that job, then go ahead and contact StarApple. They're like a totally legit company. They're the ones who are actually putting some sponsorship money into this tournament. Not just to support the casters, but to support the players in this too, the competitors. So that's really cool. Riddles.io is a platform that offers programming competitions. So if you're a programming nerd like I am, I do C++, C#. There's a bunch of different programming languages you could use with Riddles.io. I believe I looked before. You could do Lua, Python, Java. I mean, you're not just restricted to kind of like the big name ones, though. You can do scripting languages. And then, of course, you get down to the AIGames.com. And that is develop your code skills and practice them by competing with hundreds of players worldwide. Code your own bots in your preferred language and join the various competitions. So this is another one, too, where you can go ahead, like you did with StarCraft if you got involved in this tournament, and you can code your own AI for Go. You can literally be the next AlphaGo programmer if you want to. So come on, step out there outside your comfort zone and get on top of that. All right, guys, let's get right into this finals. It is going to be Pebble444 versus LetaBot. Let's see if we can get these on the screen here. I'm excited. I love watching these AI tournaments here. I've always watched them in the past, and so it'll be real fun here to watch this. Okay, looks like we got it on the screen here. The logo looks good. I'm not taking away from the game too much, am I? Unless you really like watching the replay progress, which is going to be hidden with the MCA launcher anyway. So yeah, down here at the bottom right, we're going to have our blue Terran player. It's going to be LetaBot, already spawning. Getting that APM real high. Now these the APM can cause problems for these bots. So don't just think like, oh, they're just gonna have infinite APM, like this is broken, yada yada. No, there's actually issues with having such high APM, and LetaBot is the prime example. In like tank wars, whenever LetaBot's AI has to use tanks, they get into this like super high APM glitch mode where they keep sieging and unsieging themselves, and it's absolutely hilarious to watch. But of course, as a programmer, you might be really upset by that. I believe later in this tournament, he kind of changed up his AI to kind of ramp down that APM issue, so that way he could better perform himself. But now let's go down to the bottom left. Let's not ignore the contender here, Pebble444, competing in this tournament. I don't remember how many other bots there were. There were at least 6 to 8 in this tournament, and in fact, they were taking on D, C level players and putting up some really good fights. Actually, I believe D plus was the highest. And this is by the Icy Cup ranking, obviously not by the Fish ranking, where everybody that's D is really like A plus on the Icy Cup server. So we do see down here at the bottom left, yes, the purple Terran. For those of you who know that I do have a colorblind issue, but when I do see blue on the screen, I can quickly identify that the other one must be purple. Okay, so SCVs do scout in this. Don't think that bots just are all-seeing and all-knowing. No, right away, the bots are going to have to gather information. Nothing is a known fact here. Everything is just kind of anonymous still, just like the human eye. And I do like what Pebble's doing right away. You can see that there is no refinery taken. And where is the barracks? Because I don't see a barracks either, which means that, guess what? We've gone supply depot, command center, and then into barracks. So I guess a 14cc build coming out of Pebble, going very, very economical early in this game. Meanwhile, fast refinery here, just going straight up towards that mech style play that LetaBot is so good at. You know, LetaBot is a very, very tough mid game, early game type bot. I mean, that's where you have to beat it, is like that transition period from the early to mid game, and that's what we're going to be looking for from Pebble. You know, if PebbleBot can go for a more static defense type play, siege on the high ground, maybe kind of keep LetaBot off his back for a while. And just because I'm so familiar with LetaBot is why I'm probably going to bring up more of the discussion with his bot in particular. But he does also have a follow-up in late game where you could possibly see battle cruisers come out. I mean, I'm serious. There will be a point where there's expansions, and not just 2 but 3 or 4 expansions strong, and then LetaBot starts transitioning into late game battle cruisers. So definitely something to look out for here. I guess when you can have like beautiful battle cruiser micro, it's absolutely the unit what you want to go for. You know, not a lot of bots are Protoss bots. In fact, there weren't any Protoss bots in this tournament, but I do believe there is one Zerg bot that was submitted into this tournament and did all right, did just fine. In fact, there was a really fun ZVT where the Zerg was playing a human opponent, and that game went on a really, really long time. Actually, it was vice versa in that one. The Zerg opponent was human, but because it was a D-level player, the player tried to one-base Zerg versus Terran, and it was incredible because he went one-base Hive, like max out melee upgrades on his Zerglings, and the AI bot that was playing against him just kept sending massive amounts of Marines. But because the oh, we already got the Vultures out. But because the Lings were so well upgraded, already had the adrenal glands, they were just in crackling mode, and it became this really late game until the main and eventually the natural, where the Zerg had expanded, got mined out. So you see what the Vulture is doing here, and Vultures actually do have also a high APM issue. You've seen that we're already up at 666, and that's kind of the Omen number there, but really high APM, and the Vultures may end up actually twitching out instead of having that perfect, you know, patrol micro that you see from professional Korean players. The Vultures coming here, though, are going to be for this soft contain. That's really what nice little Marine over there. That's really what LetaBot is going to be going for, is to just establish the contain on the bridge here. Meanwhile, we're seeing that a 2-fact build already on the way, a second machine shop, which is great because the refinery is coming up here, and the bot can certainly support 2 machine shops off the factories, and that double tank production is going to be great. It's these Vultures here that are just going to have to contain the tanks from Pebble and prevent them from getting quickly across this map. Already going up to the starport. As I said, I mean, this is a bot that is not afraid to get the starport fast. So double upgrades coming from the Vultures. The Vultures are going to be very mighty and strong here, and I like that the SCVs are spared out here to actually repair if any of the Vultures do take damage. So this is nice. Some bunkers at a bunker at the front with a few Marines is going to be like the perfect amount to just kind of keep units back. Meanwhile, exactly what I said here is if we could get the static defenses on the low ground and then tanks on the high ground, well, Pebble's going to be doing some direct counter to this LetaBot build here. So this is a really, really good play from this bot so far. I'm really appreciating Pebble's programming. Okay, so the spider mines have been laid out here. Meanwhile, if we look inside the main base, there's another SCV looking poised to make this command center. I'd be surprised. You know, this marine in the way is actually preventing this command center from going up. Oh, no, never mind. Actually, if you look at the count here, just got the 400 minerals. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Meanwhile, we do got to watch the front. Some damage coming down here on that initial vulture here, and the SCV is just going to want to hug it. Please stay, vulture. But no, the vultures do not stay stationary. Meanwhile, 3 tanks strong, a turret coming up too. I mean, this is great. So double upgrades coming for the vultures too. Nothing coming through the factories right now, and I'm just wondering why not. There definitely needs to be continued production here from both players, but they are looking pretty close in supply because that huge lead by getting this faster command center. I love the ComSat station timing here, and you know, LetaBot's behind. The economy is not as strong. There's definitely a huge tank advantage here. And what are we going to get out of this? Wraiths. Yeah, this is signature LetaBot here. Usually 3 or 4 wraiths at least. The thing that is beautiful, and you do see a wraith out here, is that Pebble444 almost geared his entire build order to deal with LetaBot. And so, I mean, if we can see a mid or late game TVT between these two bots, this is going to be epic. Meanwhile, let me tell you, guys, Flash versus Last is coming up after this, so today's an all TVT day. And then, of course, when you get back into the ASL tournament, the Africa Star League, it's going to be even more Terran on Terran action. This is exactly why we're going to be watching a Flash versus Last game after this cast, because Flash versus Last is a distinct possibility that they might end up seeing each other in the ASL tournament. And I really want you guys to get hyped up in seeing a game that occurred previously between the two players. And it has 21,000 views. Like, that is a major amount of views for a StarCraft game. And so I just can't say any more about it. I've never watched the game myself. There's going to be a lot of hype coming around it, and I hope you guys can really enjoy watching that cast with me. I also need to brush up on my TVT, so anybody who wants to join in here. Still no refinery here at the natural base. We're looking, you know, that's the game, not the game time. That's my time here. We're looking 9 minutes into the game. Oh, look at this, a vulture push out here. And what did we see? Just a move across from mine. So some action coming in right away. The vulture is moving their way across. And they can just hover right over mines. Not a problem here for these vultures. Just picking off really easy SCVs too. And you can see that this Wraith really doesn't know what to do with itself. But the Wraiths are constantly attacking, which is going to be good for LetaBot. Nice kills coming in here for the vultures. And the vultures are actually doing some really nice focus fire here. This is great programming here. So identifying by these vultures that, you know, it's priority cost. Basically, the programmer says, you know, when I bring my vultures over here, if you can hit SCVs, you should absolutely go for SCVs over any other unit. So instead of choosing to defend themselves, just tear down that worker count. And with this light command center, hitting up a bunch of those SCVs already, an over mining amount of SCVs inside this main base, you know, all is boding well for Pebble so far in this game. We got to keep an eye out though. It's going to be really tricky. We got to see how many Wraiths are coming into this mix. So 4 Wraiths so far. Let's see if we can get an add-on to that starport yet. Nope, just more Wraiths coming along, and the army is going to be on the way too. Meanwhile, looking inside this main base, we do have a starport with the control tower, which means that dropship play is a possibility for this AI. Okay, that was a mouthful. We do have Goliaths coming out here. Again, like I said, this is kind of that mid-game counter to LetaBot. And there are bots that program themselves specifically to try and take out some of the top dogs. So LetaBot's, you know, programming is going to have to deal with like all these crazy challenges and change-ups that's coming out of his opponent here. This is a nice move out with the tanks, but of course, without you know, encroaching turrets, he's going to need to bring these Goliaths in here. The Goliaths are coming out just in time. Man, I feel like every single bit of this has been just watching, you know, LetaBot on Fighting Spirit versus previous Terrans to really gather all the information needed to try and, you know, kind of judge this out here. With that extra gas, though, you know, that's going to help go transition to... Oh my god! All those spider mines killing units off here. Let's hold all additional commentary as we try and see Pebble break out of this. You know what? That was a worthy Goliath, though. He took up like 5 spider mines, and that's definitely the way to do it. Range upgrade already done too, so that's gonna be, I believe it's done. Yeah, yep. So we're just gonna see these wraiths get totally owned. I mean, they're not even cloaking themselves because there's no add-on. There's never been that research here, so completely visible. Oh, we're gonna see another Goliath die. Yep, and it does. It does go down here. No, this is not a hacker. This is a tournament here between 2 AI bots. And so we are watching the StarApple Man versus Machine Tour finals. And this actually started off with bots and humans playing each other, but the 2 finalists just so happened to be 2 programmed bots. Unfortunately, the players that were playing in this tournament were not able to overcome them. Bots are really well programmed in this tournament. Yeah, this is sponsored by StarApple, as you can see right above my head. I'm sure it's right there. Did it look like I was pointing upwards at the logo? That would be pretty cool. I'm not familiar with having like a lot of extra stuff on my screen. In fact, me being on the screen at all is not something that I'm entirely used to. But so yeah, we're seeing 1900 APM, and you're thinking, oh my god, you know, like this bot is going to be impossible to beat. But the problem is with high APM, it stalls the units out. The perfect micro you'd expect from this vulture can actually only work if it's, you know, down lesser to around 600 to 700 APM. Right as soon as the LetaBot starts to eclipse 900 APM, that's when you start getting kicked, you know, real hard in the micro battles, because, you know, siege tanks start sieging and unsieging and sieging and unsieging because they don't know what to do. It's like a dragoon trying to get up a hill. It just doesn't work. Nice alignment of vultures up here. So it looks like they're planning themselves to come across the map here and maybe try and backstab from the north. Meanwhile, just an array of turrets here to defend. All the tanks are out in the middle. It's a bunch of wraiths, really. I mean, the army supply is heavily in Pebble's favor, who got that really early expansion. So let's see here. Let's look inside this main base again. We're looking for the battle cruisers. I promise you, once LetaBot gets on that 3rd base, you're going to see battle cruisers come along. And I mean, that's just my favorite part about watching LetaBot in general. Let's look way down here. So we're looking at about 5 or 6 factories. Meanwhile, we're looking inside the main base here. A science facility has been built. Looking inside of this starport here, nothing coming out of it quite yet, but I wonder if this is going to become a Wraith versus Wraith, battle cruiser versus battle cruiser type battle here. This Wraith going to work here, trying to get what damage it can done. And unfortunately, even though the bot's doing so much, it's failing to identify that this attack is going on and responding by sending the Goliath over here. If this were like a normal StarCraft 1 Blizzard programmed unit, then it would automatically go over there to these immediately. But there's like a sense of control that you can see from these units, not immediately responding to every single attack. Poking and prodding, you can't use like that worker glitch by attacking a worker and having them all just chase you. It just won't work. Okay, so a lot of turrets and mines, but that's going to easily get cleared out. You can see like there's a lot of blue, but really it's all a bunch of weak like vultureness that's going on out here, and I just turned vulture into that sort of word. But this defense is really just poor. Meanwhile, there's a 3rd expansion already done for, well, I guess it would be just the 3rd base, 2nd expansion, and a 3rd one coming up here at this location too. You guys are going to have to hang out 1 second as I pause this game. It'll be real fast, I promise. Okay, and we are back into this game. I apologize for the pause. Guys, you are watching the StarApple Man versus Machine tournament here. Thank you guys for watching. And yes, his APMs are so high. We're up to 2,300 APM. But it shows you that Pebble, who has a really efficient 110 APM, is still playing extremely well, given that Pebble does have a bot that specifically counters LetaBot. So it's more about like the master chessmen that can just kind of like think out strategy, and plan it as efficiently as possible instead of just like massive amounts of spam that completely out micros your opponent here. It's kind of an example of why Flash is so good. A lower APM player, but still able to dominate because of his decision making. It's why Bakaru, as a foreign player, is so good when he plays StarCraft, because he's a low APM Zerg player, but still, he plays very smart and efficiently here. And, you know, that's just great. Are we going to see another expansion here? This is going to be good. Once LetaBot can get that expansion. Look at that scan timing. Are you kidding me? Oh, wow. I mean, that is like, that's totally Haxor. That makes you have that sense of, wow. I mean, Pebble444 did his homework when he created this bot, specifically for this TVT. Meanwhile, he is going to have that additional command center here. He's running out of minerals inside of his main base. Meanwhile, it's been overmined here in the main base for LetaBot too, so he definitely is going to need that expansion. Still, we're looking at this game, and it's got one Wraith, another Wraith on the way, 29 Spider Mines, 52 SCVs, and really there's no army for LetaBot at this time. Seriously, this army is coming down here to attack what is absolutely nothing, and he should be able to just go straight up win this game. Unfortunately, that's not happening quite yet for Pebble444, but he's making his way towards the money area here. He's got to be able to take out this natural, gain that low ground advantage, and then work his way up to the high ground. A lot of Goliaths built out here. Like I said earlier, you know, with LetaBot being such an air dominant type bot, all these Goliaths are just paying off so well. Goliaths are a great anti-air unit. And if you're coming from the StarCraft 2 scene, well, welcome to a really good anti-air unit that's provided for the Terran forces in the mech world. Oh, look at that triple kill on those mines, though. Having a lot of trouble cleaning it up here. Eventually, they will just die off here. This low ground siege with the vision of the high ground on the science vessel, plus the D matrix on that attack. I mean, that is just beautiful. These Goliaths are slowly encroaching on this territory. It just seems like there aren't any units left, and we are watching a slow death animation from our LetaBot player here. So it looks like Pebble444 is going to be able to dethrone Leta very shortly here and be able to take the crown. He does have, like I said, the unfair advantage of knowing exactly what his opponent is going to do, but whatever it takes for him to win here. I mean, I think overall, just a great game by Pebble to play as well as he did. So I believe if all the army gets inside of this main base, that there's no way that this can be overcome. So we can fast forward if that is the case. But I just want to do justice for both these players and let it run as long as possible here. We can see that, you know, this base is still mining here, so la-di-da. Maybe LetaBot can come with some sick comeback, having almost 3,000 APM at this point in the game. Oh my god, this is just disgusting. Still no battle cruisers, which is like the real upset in this. And let's look at what the opponent had ended up building. Are we maxed out? Okay, 2/2 upgrades, which is really all you need in a TVT. So already with the +2 attack, I mean, that's great. Even with like the knowledge of knowing that he could just stop here instead of going to 3/3. All right, once this command center goes down, oh, look at all the Goliaths. So Goliaths are almost as clunky as Dragoons, but they still manage to just make it up there way better. Probably with the good micro of the AI bot that we're watching here. Immediately, all these SCVs are just eliminated. Okay, and we're just going to speed it up at this point because I think that we're seeing that this is going to be the end of the game. Guys, once this machine versus man tournament is over, we'll get into the Flash versus last game. Right, there we go. LetaBot was eliminated. What an ending. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases. Taken, really good aggressive expansion, you know, turtle up style in the early game to give Pebble such a huge advantage to win that game. That was fun. That was fun, guys. It's really cool that you know, people are able to program these bots. It's really underappreciated, I'm sure, but I'm really happy for them. So congratulations to Pebble for winning that tournament. It's sponsored by StarApple one more time. If you're an IT worker in Europe and you want to head to the Netherlands to get a job, they're your people. So that's what's happening there. I am just going to play some interim music as I prepare for the next cast, which is going to be Flash versus Last. Sit tight.